Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, a suicide bombing attack in Sulu.
There is a high possibility that this is suicide bombing case.
An arrested Kenyan aviation student linked to the Al-Qaeda terrorist group.
Yung target hardening measures natin is yung to verify nga, posible, pwedeng magamit yan. Or posible naman talagang wala naman siyang kinalaman at talagang gusto lang niya maging piloto.
The president's threat to arrest critics.
Impeach ako, kulungin ko silang lahat. Subukan ninyo.
And the commander-in-chief's plea not to stage a coup d'etat.
I know that the armed forces and the police will have to decide one day, somehow. Do not do it, please, during my term.
Philippine National Police Chief Oscar Albayalde joins us live. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pinky Webb. The Philippine National Police clarifies that they have no intention to immediately arrest people who would file impeachment cases against President Rodrigo Duterte. The PNP says that an arrest could only happen if there will be law violations committed and after a thorough investigation, also with the first possible case of a Filipino suicide bomber in Sulu and the arrest of a Kenyan national linked to the Al-Qaeda terrorist group, how does the government step up efforts in preventing security threats? Let's go straight to the source of this story. Philippine National Police Chief General Oscar Albayalde. General, good to have you again. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time, sir. The bombing incident in Indanan, Sulu, do you have the latest on an update there, the identities? Was it a suicide bombing, Filipino or Moroccan?
Well, I think it has been established that it's a suicide bombing. I think even the AFP have already admitted that there's a big possibility or it's actually a suicide bombing. No? With regards to the identity, there's a certain lady claiming that she identified one of those suicide bombers, a certain Norman, yes, and she's alleging that he is her son, actually. But according to the AFP, they have to undergo the DNA test just to make sure.
But that would be very less complicated, sir, kung yung nanay ang nag-a-allege na anak niya yon from the DNA dun sa katawan and comparing it to the mother. The second one, though, sir, I think it's General Sobehana who said that they believe to be the second bomber to be a Moroccan who happens to be the son of the suspect in the Lamitan checkpoint na meron din pong sumabog.
Well, it's really very hard to prove that. It's because we didn't get any DNA from the Moroccan. Remember, the Moroccan in Basilan disintegrated, no? Nothing.
Wala natira.
We didn't get, walang natira talaga doon. So it's really very hard, and we don't have the identity of the, if really he has a son. No? Wala naman talaga naka-identify doon sa kanyang anak.
Yeah. Yes. Hard to say, I guess that's what you're saying, no, sir, because there was nothing that was recovered or can be used.
Yes, not unless our counterparts have, a way of conducting the DNA, so if they will be able to help us on this.
But on your part, wala ho kayong naaalala dyan. And just to get back, go back to that story, sir, ito yung sa checkpoint na pinigilan ng mga sundalo, the whole car, tapos bigla na lang sumabog. Yan po yun. Yung sinasabing ito yung posibleng Moroccan.
Yes.
And this could possibly be the son. Sir, is this established that, is it a suicide bombing? At ano ho ba yung suicide bombing? Pasensya na ho kayo kasi yung iba nagtatanong, kapag suicide bombing ba, kailangan yung bomba nasa katawan at i-detonate, siya po magpasabog mismo or pwede rin pong remotely detonated?
Well, basically, the suicide bombing, when we say suicide bombing, it includes the perpetrator. No? Talagang magpapakamatay siya. Unlike previous years na we had some incidents na supposed to be sa suicide bombing pero natakot yung suicide bomber, iniwan yung vest niya and then it exploded. No? Unlike here, talagang determined itong mga tao na to die and inflict injuries and deaths also. Yun ang pagkahiban ng suicide bombing. Talagang included dito whether it's detonated
By himself?
by himself or probably kung hindi niya maputok by himself, somebody will of course. Merong secondary na mag-detonate.
Even if it's remotely detonated,
Yes,
ibig
remotely
sabihin,
detonated,
General.
yes.
So has it been established, has it been confirmed, sir, because it is still a developing story, that it indeed is a suicide bombing, number one, and number two, Pinoy ho ba talaga?
Yes, I think the FA has already confirmed that it's a suicide bombing. No?
Ang tanong na lang kung
ang tanong
Filipino.
na lang if it's a Filipino. Yeah, because they still have to undergo the DNA testing. Doon sa medyo madali as what I've said doon sa isa, yung alias Norman. The other one is very difficult.
Sir, indeed, if it is a suicide bombing by a Filipino, does this completely change, sir, the landscape
Yes,
of...
I believe so. It will change the playing field. Yes, and of course our effort on this, and also the international, no, yung tingin ng international will be different again. Dun sa and of course our efforts will be different. Yung approach na natin, how these people are radicalized, kung saan. I think we have to focus on that also.
But, sir, in the past, were there already reports that indeed eventually mga Pilipino na po ang magiging suicide
There was
bombers?
I think before the Super Ferry incident, if I'm not mistaken, the Super Ferry incident was supposed to be a Filipino guy, but then again, yun nga, natakot siya. He left the bomb there and then nag-explode yun. I think it was a Super Ferry. I don't know the year, pero it was a Super Ferry incident.
Pero because this is changing the kind of threat or terrorism here in the country, sir, I guess, how do you avoid it, number one, and how do you step up measures to prevent an incident like this from happening?
Well, as we see, these people involved in attacks and bombings, most of them are Balik Islam. No, I'm not saying that all Balik Islam. No, I have to say hindi lahat naman ng Balik Islam are radicals. No, but most of them we see that these are Balik Islam, and they are being radicalized inside the detention cells. Most of them. Kapag nakulong sila, then doon sila na nako-convert. Some of them are former OFWs na nagkakaroon ng kaso dito, and then they go to jail, and then doon nga sila na co-convert.
Is it because it's easier because controlled environments, sir, yung sa kulungan?
Well, that's number one, of course. And of course, probably they have nowhere to go anymore. No? Parang yun na lang ang nila, pupuntahan nila.
And there's no freedom whatsoever, obviously,
Yes,
sa
of
loob
course.
ng kulungan.
And then after a few years, they go out, parang ganun na, and then yung thinking nila, ganun na lang.
Kasi doon na sila, in a way, brainwashed?
Yes, probably. And they already believe yung mga teachings na kung ano sinasabing mali nung mga nagtuturo sa kanila inside detention cells.
But how can you step up measures regarding this, sir? I mean, ang hirap ho ata. Let's be honest here. Number one, how do you detect a suicide bomber?
Well, it's supposed to be, we have to have a good intelligence. No? That's very important. We have to step up our intelligence gathering here, our intelligence effort here. And of course, the cooperation of the community, that's very important. And of course, for me, personally, it's education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yun talaga yung makakatulong,
Yes.
no, sir. But any other efforts to deter something like this from happening? Intelligence? How do you step up siguro measures to avoid something like this, apart from intelligence, sir? I mean, on the side of the police, ano ho ba? Checkpoints, ganun kaya?
Well, those are the common ones, no? Ano yun eh, if you have a suicide bomber that is really determined, napakahirap niyan.
For example, the checkpoint that
Yes.
happened in Lamitan, sir,
Yes.
that was a checkpoint and there was a suicide bomber there.
Of course.
At natuloy pa rin yun.
Of course.
All right, there's another, sir, a Kenyan national was recently arrested in Zambales, sir.
Yes.
Okay, his name is Cholo Abdi Abdullah. He was arrested July 1. Tell us more about him, sir.
Well, accordingly, this guy was involved as a coordinator in the January 15, 2019 bombing in Nairobi. No? Well, allegedly, they're very good in disguise. These guys are very good in disguise. But we got information that we're still trying to confirm if he is acting on his own or not, if he is alone or not.
But
here
there
in the
were
country.
reports that he's supposed to be connected to the Al-Qaeda group, sir.
Yes,
Is
but
that confirmed?
he's allegedly a member of the Somali Al-Kabab terrorist group, which has links to
The Al-Qaeda.
The Al-Qaeda.
Sir, there are certain stories about this Kenyan national saying that he was studying to be a pilot.
Yes, yes. Remember when after the 9/11 incident, we've been monitoring all the flying schools all over the country. Remember, there was one who took his flying training in Clark, in Pampanga, who was involved in the 9/11 incident.
Okay. Does that raise a red flag, sir, with this Kenyan national supposed links to the Al-Qaeda taking up a flying school in the Philippines, sir?
We're not focusing on Kenyans alone,
Yeah.
Pinky.
No, I'm talking about him, sir.
Yes.
Kasi sabi mo nga, because of 9/11,
Yes.
minomonitor niyo yung mga
Yes, all
aviation
the- yes,
schools,
aviation
right?
schools,
Any national for that matter. But
Yes.
does that raise a red flag not, on this man particularly because may links supposed to be sa Al-Qaeda, sir, at nag-aaral para lumipad?
Well, not really, probably. This goes to everybody, no? Lahat ng foreigners for that matter, including the locals, no? Hindi naman ano yan. Pero we're not really actually yung surveillance, we're not, again, no, magiging ano na naman yan, sabihin nila violation of human rights and all.
Yes.
We're just trying to monitor, no, lahat ng mga naka-enroll sa iba't ibang mga flying schools all over the country.
Okay, I understand what you're getting to, sir. But what I'm trying to say is that because of the 9/11, this prompted you
Yes.
guys to look into
Yes.
possibly people, students rather,
Yes.
studying in aviation schools because of the 9/11 attacks. But it's not a threat, sir, that this man is connected to the Al-Qaeda.
Well, possibly, yes. There's a big possibility that he is a threat. Because as what I said earlier, what I got from our intelligence information, that these guys are really good in disguise.
Sir, the police and the military was able to arrest this man with the help of your foreign counterparts?
Yeah, there's an exchange of information, actually. We have that exchange of information from our foreign counterparts, particularly on counterterrorism.
Would you be able to tell us who foreign counterpart helped you arrest this man?
That they did not identify.
Okay.
The report did not identify.
Where is he detained, sir?
With the CIDG.
Will he stay there?
Yes, he's undergoing custodial investigation.
So I guess before we go on a break, sir, my question is, because of his alleged links, sir, will he stay in the CIDG or is he going to be brought somewhere else? Is he a high-value
Yes.
suspect, sir?
That will depend on the court. We can ask the court that he can stay inside the CIDG detention cell for a while. Usually, our requests are being granted, especially so with these kinds of arrests.
Yeah, and you'd rather him stay in the CIDG or would he be better off staying in an undisclosed area, sir?
Yeah, probably in the CIDG.
All right, we'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde. During the break, we're talking about because of the series of attacks, the series of arrests, sir, and the suicide bombing. Does this sow some kind of fear, or on the flip side, we can also say that these are gains being made by government together with the help of our foreign counterparts?
I think there's really nothing to fear. No, the public has nothing to fear. The government is totally in control of the situation. This can be attributed with, of course, with our intelligence gathering and, of course, with our information sharing with our foreign counterparts. This goes to show na nagtatrabaho yung mga intelligence operatives natin, and in our intelligence is working. And, of course, the cooperation of our law enforcement agencies with the community.
And the martial law, sir, in Mindanao, because of these series of events, does that justify it? Or kahit na po sabihin natin si Kenyan National na arrest naman sa Iba Zambales, sir, does that justify martial law? Is it working? Or is there a need to even extend martial law in Mindanao?
Well,
sir?
I think if without the martial law, baka mas marami pang incident yan. No? I think sa martial law is a big deterrent dito sa mga nangyaring mga terrorist attacks, especially so in parts of Mindanao.
All right, impeachment, sir. The president threatened to jail those who plan to impeach him. Let's go back to what the president said.
Impeach ako, kulungin ko silang lahat. Subukan ninyo. You with me. Kita ko sa inyo kung how not to run properly a government. Takot-takotin niya ako ng impeachment. Subukan mo. Sabi ni Erap sa kangkungang kay Populutan, dito sa akin, subukan mo. Subukan mo. Kung malalaki kayo at matapang may kayo, do it!
Sir, to be clear, what is the PNP stand on this?
Well, impeachment is a constitutional exercise, no? First, una pa lang, we've already clarified that yung sinabi ko na will arrest, provided that's a violation of the law. Or, anybody can file an impeachment for that matter, Pinky, di ba? Yung iba, even a criminal can file an impeachment complaint against the president, di ba? Pero the impeachment per se, yung pag-file ng it's not a violation of the law. Alam naman natin lahat yan. You cannot arrest a person right after filing an impeachment complaint against anybody.
So you won't arrest
for that matter.
people who
Of
will
course.
file impeachment cases? Because
Yes.
what you said, sir, was pretty much in this way. If there is an order from the president and we see a violation of the law, why not? Yun ang sinabi
Yes,
niyo
kung
po,
meron
right?
siyang violation. If that person has a standing warrant of arrest,
Yeah.
why not? No, it's not because he filed an impeachment. Alam naman natin yan. Filing an impeachment, it's not a violation of the law.
But I guess
We
yung
know-
sinabi
we
niyo
know
po
that.
kasi, sir,
Yes.
if there is an order from the president and we see a violation of the law, because of
But
course...
there's that portion that after the investigation.
meron pa
After
rin
the
yun.
investigation.
Yeah,
right?
but of course, hindi naman
After
pwedeng...
verification and investigation, I think it was cut. What I said was only cut, and then it's according to what you asked that person. Parang tinanong nila, sabi ng PNP, they're going to arrest, what can you say?
Yeah.
But they didn't say that kung may violation of the law.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, that's why we need to clear that up, sir. But I guess one question is when you said if there is an order from the president, because the president...
Where if there's an order from the president, it's not outright that you arrest that person who filed the case. No, we have to build a case kung talagang meron. You have to build a case kung talagang meron. Not because he filed an impeachment complaint
case against the president.
Yes,
Pero
of
I guess
course.
doon naman pumupunta yung sinasabi ng iba na it's not obviously impeachment because filing an impeachment is not a crime. Hence,
Yes.
you can't jail anyone for
Yes.
filing an impeachment.
Yes,
But
correct.
dito po pumapasok yung sinasabi namang posibleng inciting to sedition. Yan.
Yes, but probably libelous, yung there's these things. And of course, the profile of that person. Remember, there are previous incidents na may nag-file ng impeachment and then na-arresto. It's not because he filed an impeachment, but he has a standing case against that person.
Okay. Some reactions also because of that message from the president, sir, and then subsequently what you said nga po, because it could have sent a possible chilling effect dun sa mga may plano. One of them is Senator Risa Ontiveros. She was saying that the PNP chief remarks are meant as a deterrent. Yun na nga po, they create a chilling effect and send the message to those who would want to avail of the impeachment process to hold the president accountable, and they will be subjected to police investigations. Why would, ito ho siguro yung word, sir, insinuate possible violations on the part of those who criticize the president? Would you care to answer that, sir?
Well, it's very, as I've said, it depends on how you ask the question, on how they ask the question, on what I answered. No? As we all know, I think everybody knows that filing an impeachment is not a violation of the law. Alam naman natin yun.
It's
And
not
we're
a crime.
And in fact, in fairness to the president, wala man siya sinabi sa amin na, PNP, you arrest anybody who will file an impeachment complaint against me. Wala man siya sinabi.
Wala siya sinabing PNP, pero may sinabi
Yes.
siya
And in
on
fact,
his
there's
own.
no direct instruction.
Order.
Direct order.
From the president
Yes,
for
from the
you to do
president.
that. And then
Yes.
you were just asked about
Yes,
it, and then you
yes.
answered that. All right, we'll be taking a short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde. Sir, the story on the Rizal by-bus, sir. Tell us the circumstances surrounding this first.
Well, accordingly, they are conducting by-bus operation on that day. 20, with, of course, hindi naman lahat yun, no? They have backup from the Provincial Intelligence Branch of Rizal. Accordingly, bago pa magkaroon ng by-bus operation or before the by-bus can be
Before
consummated,
exchange.
he was noticed by the suspect. The suspect went back to his house, took the gun, and then he fired at the officer who was hit here, downwards. And then the fatality, late Sergeant Cabigaw, returned fire. No?
Yeah.
But then in the
Nakalaban pa
process,
nga daw,
yes,
even
but
after being
unfortunately,
shot.
yun nga, may tinamaan na bata.
The 3-year-old
A 3-year-old,
na anak
yes.
nung
Na anak
suspect,
nung- yes,
sir.
na anak
Kasi
nung
dalawang suspect ang pinag-uusapan natin
They're
dito.
Both suspects are members of the Raga Gun for Hire groups.
The mom, though, is questioning this. I believe we have a little bit of an interview with the mom. Can we listen to that?
Sabi nga nila, hindi naman ho nila sinasadya. Wala akong may gusto. Pero may babalik ba yung buhay ng 3 taon kong gulang na anak? Hindi na ho mababalik yan. Kahit magsisiman ho. Doon ako nasaktan sa human shield. Sobrang mahal na mahal niyang bata na yan. Yakap, sige, sasagutin ko po yan, yakap na kasi may tama na.
That's a mother speaking, sir. Sinasabi na nung nanay na yung tatay hindi gagamiting human shield sa sobrang mahal niya dun sa anak niya. What is the latest on the investigation?
Well, this
on
is the
sir?
very reason why I directed the regional director to immediately relieve all the officers, police officers involved, 20 of them, including the chief of police, and have them surrender their firearms to the crime laboratory for ballistics examination so that we'll be able to know who really hit the child. No? But then again, also, we have to look this on both ways. No? The suspect, kung alam niya, he has a child there inside, he should have surrendered. No? If you have your family inside the house, why won't you surrender voluntarily, no? And peacefully kung talagang sanang he was really... Remember, Sergeant Cabigaw died also,
Yeah.
and he left 2 children also dito. No? His children are like 7 or 6 years old, isang babae, isang lalaki. They're still very young. No? Kaya hindi lang po siya ang namatayan. Even the PNP lost lives here. No? Kaya sabi natin, although we're not saying that we're not justifying this, Ping, let me stress this. We're not justifying the death of the child, no? Who wants, tama yung sabi ng mother niya. Sino bang may gusto dito? And everybody, of course, saying na ginawa siyang shield. Whether the suspect made the child a shield or not, no? It's not right. It's not right. Hindi tama ang may mapatay, lalo na itong bata. No? But then again, namatayan din ng PNP. In a firefight, remember, no, once you get shot, talagang your instinct, of course, is to shoot back. No? And of course, kung ganun na
Anything
yung
could have happened
yes,
there.
anything could
That's
have
what you're
happened. We
saying.
don't know what happened there. We
Pero
cannot probably
yung
comment.
una
Yes.
siyang,
Nauna siyang tinamaan. Yes.
At
the police.
napatay pa yung dalawa. Bakit, sir? Mag-isa ho ba siya doon sa bypass?
No, there were others also.
May
I
kasama
think-
si police.
Yes. As backups, yes, of
Okay.
course. They have the raiding team. Usually,
do you know
he's
how
actually
many
the
yung
pusher
kasama
buyer
niya?
sana. He's only actually the pusher buyer
Yeah.
who would consummate the by-bus, no, yung buying and selling.
Tapos
And then
magkakaroon na ng
after
change
giving
na
the
marked
signal,
money.
after giving the signal, then the raiding team will swoop in.
So siguro, sir, are you saying that because may narinig pong mga putok, sumugod na yung raiding
Yes,
team, ganun
yes,
ho ba nangyari?
yes, yes.
And then you don't know what happened
Yes,
anymore?
we really can't say who hit the child. No, I think it's still being determined by the crime laboratory.
Yeah.
That's why we made all the police officers to surrender all their firearms, including that of the late Sergeant Cabigaw.
Yeah. And when will you find out, sir, possibly the
Well, in a few days' time,
findings?
probably this time it should be done. Pero yung with the 20 firearms and more, probably, because I'm sure they're bringing their long
Yeah.
firearms also. So that would probably take a little more time.
So what happened, sir, really is, what have they said? That bigla na lang pong lumabas yung bata? How did the kid come into the picture?
Well, that's just the report. No, we cannot rely totally on the report. Siyempre, we have to investigate this. This is the reason why I directed the regional director to conduct an in-depth investigation headed by the regional investigation division.
In a situation like this, General, how difficult it is for the police? Because I see and I feel what you're saying, sir. You're right beside me na meron ho kasing namatay na 3-year-old.
Yes.
And of course, yung sentimiento po,
Yes.
pupunta po doon.
Yes, of course.
Because the kid could be the collateral damage.
Yes.
Yet I see you, sir, and namatayan din ho kayo.
Yes.
At namatayan din po ng tatay
Yes.
yung dalawang anak ni police Kabigaw.
Yes, it's really, really very unfortunate, no, that we have this collateral damage or casualties, especially, so sabi ko nga, bata. And we believe na whatever we do, hindi mo na talaga mabalik yung buhay. Especially so a very young child, no. Yung sa amin siguro maintindihan ng tao, it's because it's a part of our duty.
Trabaho
no?
niyo yun.
Trabaho namin yan. Sometimes talaga we die in service, no. Talagang kasama yon, kasama sa risk namin. But the child is not, no? Hindi niya risk yun eh. No? Sa amin, it's, nung nag-take oath kami, that's part of the risk, that's part of the job. No? Yun siguro yun yung disadvantage namin. It's always, pag may tinatamaan na ganyan, always some sectors would take advantage of it. You know, alam mo na kagad, they take advantage of it and then they make it as a political issue again. Or probably they make it as issue against us. And then, kung kani-kanino pa. Kasi, but remember, we're doing everything, no? Yung sa amin, what I can...
May dala ho ba silang body cameras,
assure
sir? Yung mga police, yung raiding team?
I don't think so.
Wala.
Not even the best, I think. Not even the best. Because not everybody has the body camera yet and not everybody has the best also.
Which is something that the police also wants, sir. Dahil in a situation like this,
Yes.
na tatlo yung patay,
Yes,
doon sa tatlong magkakasama,
Yes.
dead men tell no
What I
tales.
would like to stress here, Pinky, is nobody wants this to happen, including us. Sino ba kami gusto mangyari yan, no? It's because it will be taken against us. Diba? Ano to eh, we had some experiences before already.
Yeah.
So we're really being very careful.
Okay.
But as I've said, in a firefight, sometimes, especially so that you were already hit, your tendency is, of course, to shoot back.
Sir, when will you give us the latest on this? When do you think, sir?
Well, probably at least 2-3 days.
All right, to PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you always for your time, sir. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.